Hey, good morning, everyone. I wanted to come on real quickly this morning to say Happy International Women's Day. I always find it interesting in March where we do this International Women's Day. And I literally am like, every day is Women's Day in my book. This world could not operate without the women that are a part of it. So I'm always amazed how they only do it for one day. We got International Women's Day for one day, but this is also Women's History Month. Now, when I think of that, and I've said it before on a couple of lives before that I've done this month already, that we all are a part of history. That doesn't mean you don't have to die to be a part of history. You can make history and be alive. There are many of us that we are the first to do a thing in our families. We may have been the first that went to college and graduated. Because, some of us have some folk in our family that they went, they just didn't finish. Okay. But we stuck in there and we graduated. You may have been the first woman in your family to hold a corporate job. You may have been the first woman in your generation to run for an elected office. You may be the first woman in your family that literally did something that changed the trajectory of not just your life, but those that are watching you, those that are paying attention to you, those that you love, your family members. Let's not get so caught up with what happened back there that we forget that we are making history every single day. Every day that we get up and go out into the world, there are ways that we are making history. I think about the number of women that have started businesses and are still running those businesses, even through challenging times. You were the first person in your family to become, or in your generation, to become an entrepreneur. You started a business from scratch that you had no idea was going to be successful. You had no idea that it was going to work. You're the first person in your family just to do something that nobody else has done. You started an exercise program. You started things for women's groups. You started a line dance class. Now you are the master $1 million confidence coach. I'm talking about the one and only Tina Moore. You may have been the first person in your family to just step outside of the box and do something that nobody else did. You may have been the first person in your family to get saved. You may have been the first woman in your generation to preach the gospel. You may have been the first woman that did the thing that so many other people are afraid to do. There are people that are so afraid to do those things that God has placed in their heart, on their minds, and more importantly, anointed them to do. So on this International Women's Day, I want you to think about the thing that God has placed inside of you that you have been sitting on and not doing. That thing He put in your heart for those children. When teachers are throwing in the towel and giving up because the classroom has gotten so ridiculous and the administration has gotten so foolish, but has put something in your heart to do for the children of today. Our children need each and every one of us. Most of us grew up in a time where we had a village. We have got to get the village back together for our children. God may have given you something for them. God may have given you something to share with someone else to push them into their journey. So on this International Women's Day, what is it that you have been the first to do? And what is God giving you to share with those that you encounter? that may push them or propel them into the place that they'll be the first to do something in their family, in their ministry, in their world. What is that thing? And when you going to talk about it? And for you, when are you going to do it? Happy International Women's Day. Remember that you are history. I think about the number of nurses that I have met that have started things that they never would have imagined. And God has put his super on their natural and blown it up further than they could have ever thought or imagined. What is that thing for you? What is it that he's placed inside of you that you have put on the back burner and you're not doing? Get up, get started, and keep it moving. That's all you got to do. Somebody is waiting on you to do that thing, or he would not have given it to you. So take care. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. Happy International Women's Day. Happy Women's History Month. Do the thing and stop shrinking back because you are concerned about what somebody else thinks. They gonna do what they do. They gonna say what they say. They gonna be where they gonna be. They gonna do all that while you shrink back and not get that thing accomplished that God has placed inside of you to do. Take care. Have a great Friday and happy International Women's Day. If you are on Clubhouse, you need to tap into the International Women's Day Summit that's going on, that's being put on by the great Tina Moore and is a part of the Crazy Courageous Confidence Club or Confidence House now on Clubhouse. Anyway, have an amazing day. I got to get out of here. Bye-bye.